Have you ever wondered how your favorite restaurant always seems to have your go-to dish ready? Well, it's actually a massive, high-stakes guessing game. And when they guess wrong, it creates a problem that costs the entire industry billions. So today, we're going to break down how data is turning that guesswork into a genuine science.
Just look at this number. Every single year, in the US alone, restaurants lose a staggering $25 billion. And that's not just lost profit. We're talking about over 11 million tons of food. Food that was grown, shipped, and prepped only to be thrown straight into the trash. It's wild.
And it all boils down to this one incredibly tough question. You know, in an industry where your food costs can gobble up to 35% of all your sales, getting this right is everything. If you guess too low, you're disappointing customers and losing sales. But if you guess too high, you are literally throwing cash in the garbage. Okay, so to really get this, let's start at the ground floor and look at the core problem, the true cost of all that kitchen guesswork. For the longest time, the main tools for managing inventory were, spreadsheets, old school paper logbooks, and just the gut feeling of a manager who's seen their fair share of busy nights. And as you can probably imagine, this whole approach isn't just slow, it's completely wide open to simple human error. And this really shows you the night and day difference. On one side, you've got the old world of manual guesswork, and on the other, you have automated systems that are integrated, they're accurate, and they're predictive. It's a huge leap from just reacting to what happened yesterday to actively shaping what's going to happen tomorrow. First up, let's climb to that first rung and really dig into manual management and why those old spreadsheets just don't cut it anymore. The reality of doing this by hand is that you're always putting out fires. One minute you're running out of your most popular dish on a packed Friday night, that's sales walking out the door. The next, you're overstocked on perishable stuff that ties up your cash and goes straight to the waste bin. It's just this vicious cycle of inefficiency. So the first big upgrade for restaurants was automation, and it came in the form of the point of sale system, or POS. This was the first time they could really get a look at their data in real time. So here's how it works, and it's pretty slick. A customer orders, say, a burger. The sale gets logged, and boom, the system instantly deducts one bun, one patty, and a slice of cheese from your total inventory count. It gives you a live, totally accurate picture of what you have on the shelves at any given moment. But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. A POS system gives you a fantastic real-time view of your stock, but it's still fundamentally looking backward. It's telling you what you just sold. It can't tell you what you're going to sell tomorrow or next week or during that huge holiday weekend coming up. And that brings us to the very top rung of the ladder, the real game changer. Predictive forecasting. This is where we stop looking in the rearview mirror and start looking right through the windshield. Now, the engine that powers this is a pretty complex tool with a mouthful of a name, a Bayesian generalized additive model. But don't worry about the name. Just think of it like a super smart detective. It sifts through all your past sales data, finds all these hidden patterns like weekly cycles or seasonal trends, all to predict the future. What's so crucial here is that this model is incredibly smart. It actually learns the unique rhythm of a restaurant. It knows that your Fridays are way busier than your Mondays. It sees that end-of-the-month rush when everyone gets paid. It understands that you sell more soup in the winter, and it can even spot when a new menu item is suddenly taking off. And here's a really cool detail. The reason it's so clever is because the math behind it is specifically designed to predict counts, like the number of burgers you'll sell. This is key because it means it can't make a ridiculous prediction, like forecasting that you'll sell -3 tacos. It's a tool that is mathematically built for the reality of a kitchen. Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But it brings us to the most important question of all. In the real world, does all this complicated math actually work? Is it really any better than the other methods out there? Well, the results are pretty stunning. When researchers put this model to the test against other industry-standard tools, like the traditional ARIMA model, and even Profit, which is a really powerful forecasting tool from Facebook, the new Bayesian approach won. And it didn't just win by a little. Its accuracy is in a whole other league. So what's the view from the top? What is the actual real-world impact of all this? How does this data really change things for the business's bottom line? I mean, don't just take my word for it. The researchers themselves basically confirmed it. They concluded that in the chaotic, unpredictable environment of a real restaurant, their data-driven approach simply gives the best, most solid forecasts you can get. period. And you can see it right here. When you switch from a manual system with its incredibly high levels of waste to a predictive one, the drop is just dramatic. Way less food gets thrown out, which means costs plummet and profits go up. It's a straight line from smarter data to a much healthier business.
So what we've really just seen is a total transformation. By making this climb from handwritten logs all the way up to intelligent forecasting, restaurants can finally move beyond pure guesswork. They can order precisely what they need, turning the art of managing inventory into a data-driven science. And that leaves us with one last, really big thought. If this kind of predictive power can solve the messy, complex problem of food waste in one restaurant, just imagine applying these same ideas to much bigger, more complicated systems. What other massive global supply chains are just waiting to be fixed by their own data-driven crystal ball?